we're going to play with paints and mess around with them. I don't know how much actual painting I'm going to do, but we're going to check out, because I purchased it a few weeks ago, but I haven't had a chance to open it. But some pigments from Green Stuff World, as well as the Green Stuff World medium. So I'm going to be mixing up stuff and seeing what the consistency looks like, and then maybe we'll throw some paint on something or other here. Yeah, so I'll talk about Justice League more later, but I do want to say, for those of you who enjoy it, fantastic. I'm very happy for you. I'm happy in general that it exists, because clearly so much weird stuff happened in this whole crazy timeline of how the first movie was made and how this movie was made, and clearly there were a lot of fans who wanted this. So awesome. I'm glad it exists. Did I love it? No, I didn't love it, but that's fine. Were there parts that I enjoyed? Sure. I'm going to, like I said, I'm at least going to mix up some paint today. Are these dirty? No, clean enough. But yeah, definitely there's definitely, we're still in spoiler territory, because that movie is so long that I don't know that many people who have been able to watch the whole thing since it debuted late on Wednesday night, just because of how long the dang thing is. Let's see. All right, let's try this. Black Cavalier. There was a little less screaming when I when I was watching it, thankfully. Okay, what does this smell like? Oh, hardly any odor. Yeah, and like I said, it is just the whole story, though, behind what was going on during the original filming, and Joss Whedon's involvement. Wow, look at that. Of course, my color balance is not quite right on the camera, but that is pink. I know, right? You better eat your vegetables, or you have to sit and watch 4 hours of the Snyder Cut. And then there's just some. Look, I'm all for directors having their vision and doing what they want to do, and that's great. But you boot it up, and it's in this weird aspect ratio. That's like the first thing. I'm like, come on. Why do we? Yeah, it does look like Pop Rocks. So yeah, spoilers. The movie's in a bizarre, like almost old TV aspect ratio, because he wants it to be an IMAX at some point. I guess it's like an IMAX ratio. I don't know, but it just, that was an annoying start to the whole thing. All right, so this is, like I said, this is Green Stuff World. They're called Fluor Pigments, and this is, of course, the pink. So let's see what this looks like with some of the Green Stuff World Master Medium. Now, again, technically, this Master Medium is for... Oh, I'm going to shake this. Yeah, and that was... That's what they announced was the reason. Yeah, it's like, we want this eventually to come out in IMAX theaters, so... Now, of course, look... Is that still a directorial, just kind of like made up thing? Yeah, because movies all the time come out in regular theaters and IMAX, and they look normal in regular theaters. You don't have to do them in a weird IMAX screen format, but that's what they decided to do. All right, so I'll try. We'll start with 10 drops. What the heck? It's usually pretty good for a big scoop. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. All right, 10 drops. But yeah, so that was kind of annoying. Let's do. And yeah, I mean, even if you're a fan, the movie was a gigantic, bloated mess. Was it entertaining at times? Sure. Did it add a lot to certain characters' storylines? Yeah. And some of the characters were actually characters in this one, and they weren't in the previous version. Sorry if this is loud. So this is pretty sludgy. It's also not the best place to mix it. Yeah, I don't think... Oh man, I wish my color was true, because in real life this is super pink. On screen it looks a little bit more fleshy. So, let me get a brush in there. Let's get a crappy brush. Oh, this one will do. It looks like unicorn poop. That's fair. Where is my... I get a tester guy here. I hear a meltdown in progress. Okay, that's not so bad. We got a little dude here. Let's... It's a little thick. Maybe I need a little bit more medium. Did I hear what I think I just heard? Okay. I don't know if you all heard that announcement, but oh, dude, the Amazon scene. So there's a thing that happens with director's cuts, oftentimes, where like you'll watch a movie, and then you'll watch the director's cut, and you'll see extended scenes or added scenes, and even if you're not like a heavy-duty film person, you'll be like, yeah, I can see why they didn't include that. That wasn't necessary, or that scene was much better shorter. And oh man, Amazon stuff definitely qualifies. Alright, so I'm getting a pretty weird consistency from this paint. But of course, you always have to put the paint down, let it dry to see what it really looks like. Because you never know after it dries. I'll just paint. Maybe I'll just do his pants, and then we can do some more testing here. It doesn't want to stick super well. Hey, Snyder, how's it going? Oh, yeah, you can, as Darrow said, you can speed up the drying process if you need to. There are, yeah, blow dryer definitely can help. If you're in a rush or you're trying to paint a whole bunch of things at once and you need to keep going with it. Let's see. So what has gone on since the last time I was here with you, lovely folks? So my birthday was Wednesday. It was very nice. Didn't really do much of anything, but that's cool too. There's a restaurant here in Burbank that I like. I like their food, and for some reason, we have the worst luck ordering food from them. It's always either like they're randomly closed, or there's something going on. So that's what I wanted for my birthday dinner. And we go to order it, totally forgetting it's the Burbank pub, and we're trying to order pub food the night of St. Patrick's Day. And how easy do you think that's going to be? Which we, of course, didn't think of. So they were out of food by the time we ordered. Dope. So that didn't happen. Hudsonizer is engaged to a rodent. Well, hey. I mean, that's, you do you, buddy. But anyway, we ended up having pizza, which is always a good substitute. Always a good second option. And then yesterday, typically Thursdays are days that I get to sleep in, which is cool. My wife takes care of the kids in the morning. And then, of course, last night was Warhammer on Hyper, and it was crazy. Just crazy. If you haven't checked in with those folks over there lately, they're going through another move, which is just, that in and of itself is crazy. Thank you for the follow, Invader Cheney. It's a great name for wherever it comes from. Folks, can you verify for me? Did that actually do it? Have we hit that mark? Is it official? Oh my God. That's wild. Okay, hold on, I need to confirm before we do anything wild. Oh, right. I totally forgot that it was that it was a competition. Yes, Black Cavalier, 100%. And again, like in the scheme of things, it means very little. I appreciate all that hype, and yeah, and by most metrics, by almost every other metric, Jessica is beating me handily, and again, that's totally fine. She has many more subscribers than I do, but it's great. It's great. Thank you very much. It's so funny. Yeah. Well, we have to celebrate. I'll let this the crappy brush, but I still don't want to let it get too dried out. I have way more crappy brushes than I have good brushes. Oh, yes. Oh, man. Everything on this channel is so serious. Especially all my mad scientist experiments trying to create the perfect pink paint. Yeah, definitely let Jessica know. Does that show up as red? Kind of orange. Yeah, so last night was... Oh, there we go. So yeah, the Hyper family, they're moving. Thankfully not as far this time, but they do have to move, which means building an entire new studio, and of course doing it now, they can't have help, or at least not the same kind of help that they would have had in non-pandemic times, and it's just crazy for all the work that Zach does, and he truly is Zach Eubank. Because I know some of you are not. Some of you have come from communities other than the hyper community. I think, right? But Zach Eubank is truly like one of the hardest working, most visionary people I know. So much of what you see on Twitch that's not video games comes from Zach. I mean, that's just a fact. I mean, nowadays, Geek and Sundry is a pale, pale shadow of what it once was, but that was all Zach. Zach created Critical Role, and yeah, and he has a chronic illness, and he frequently suffers for it because of how hard he works, which is a whole other layer to everything. But he's truly an impressive guy, and I'm lucky to have worked with him so much over the years. And yeah, he can come off as really gruff, and that's mostly because he's in pain constantly. But yeah, so unfortunately, like, they've had to move several times over the last few years for various different reasons, most of them crappy, and this situation is yet another one of those. So anyway, a lot of the streams these days, sort of in the background, is, hey, we have incentives to to keep the channel running, but we're also we're also funding a move and all of what that's going to entail, because obviously it'll entail downtime and just all the extra work. So we're very lucky to have a lot of excellent people last night who were able to donate, raised a bunch of money. So yeah, it was good. And of course, it was just a fun, crazy game, as they always are, especially when I'm involved. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Lucas is absolutely number 2, right behind his brother, with innovations on Twitch and coming up with cool stuff. But yeah, last night was super fun. It went very long, a lot longer than I expected to be on. Yeah. And that's probably, you know what, honestly, doing the, yeah, lots and lots of lightning. That's probably why I haven't spent so much time focusing on getting my tabletop simulator set up to do Warhammer, because I do get vicariously through the Warhammer streams that I help out with over on Hyper. Vicariously through that, I get to enjoy and interact with Warhammer games and factions that I don't own. So yeah. Oh my god. So Arson Roy, I was thinking about that, because at one point it seemed like they might try to push for 3 rounds. I was like, oh my god, please, dear God, no. I might have had to just duck out if they were gonna do that. Yeah, thankfully, cooler heads prevailed. Well, I gotta say, I don't love the consistency, and it's, again, I need to wait for this thing to fully dry, but I do like the color. Where are my other testers? Oh, let me grab this. Yeah, and of course there have been other great people behind the scenes at Geek and Sundry and at other places. So it's, now again, I'm using a different pigment and a different medium, so things will end up being different, but yeah. It's not bad. Definitely not bad. Well, look. Going into last night, Malika obviously had John to help her with her orcs. Lucas came in like with a plan. The newest one. Yeah, and again, it's still drying, so I gotta wait till it's fully dry to see what it's really gonna look like. Oh, my connection speed is bouncing all around. So I apologize for any pixelation or fuzziness. It will resolve itself. Wow, it literally jumped from 500 to 5,000 and now back to 200. Great. Great. So now in theory, I could just add a little bit more of this. Oh, that's a little bit more than I expected. But yeah, Lucas came in like with a clear strategy for what he was gonna do. So I was like, all right, I'll help Zach a little bit more. And again, because Zach is so busy, he has not had the time to read through the new edition of the Death Guard Codex and get a clear handle on all their silly things that they can do. Ooh, pink orcs, that'd be cool. I mean, hey, pink anything is cool. So I'm trying to get into... Yeah, it's too tight to try to get in there. So remember, when you paint, you want to get as close to the model as you can. Get everything together. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to link the heels of my hands together, or at least on the this little painting holder, to try to get into the really tight recesses. I don't want to get paint everywhere. This is a tester, but still, eventually I want the colors to be in the right places. So this is a Space Marine who is perpetually throwing a grenade. He does have a grenade in his hand. Yeah, what would pink orcs be in their different color things? I don't know. Yeah, the orcs definitely have a hierarchy of colors. Every color does something. Yeah, so that was last night. My children did not go to bed very well with me not helping out. I got horror stories from Chris when I was done. The kids did not go to bed. Oh, sorry. Ooh, good. Paint this hand, but not the grenade. Now sometimes if the detail is really small and you're also base coating a wide area, sometimes you gotta just bite the bullet and paint the thing and then know that you're gonna have to go back and redo stuff. It's generally, it's not the end of the world, at least on my level. I know I'm gonna have to do touch-ups on things. Like if I got pink on the gun, it's alright, I'm gonna repaint it. But if I can do it relatively clean, then I'm happy. Okay, he's mostly pink. Just need to get behind his head, and then this last pauldron. Yeah, that's true. Pink is... Ooh, what if it's a cross between red and purple for the orcs. I can see that. The podcast Adeptus Ridiculous. Oh, I've never heard of that one. That's cool. Okay, so this is definitely going to need a second coat. Only because it's pretty thin, which is not a bad thing. Remember, it's always better to have thinner paints and do more coats than it is to have a really thick paint that you glob on in one coat and then it obscures some of your detail. Okay, so that's pretty much everything pink that I want to be pink. So I'm going to set this aside and just let it dry. Not keep messing with it, because I tend to do that too. I'm like, well, let me just add a little bit more here and see what this does. And nope, just let it dry. Because it's very strange how different things can look once it dries versus while you're actually, playing with the paint on it and it's still wet. I mean, Black Cavalier, that is true. It does go quicker. And again, the idea of the multiple thin coats, that is, of course, with traditional paints. Now, if you are using things like contrast paints, and again, now the other big paint companies have things that are basically their own version of contrast. Contrast, you can do one thick coat, and in most cases, it actually works pretty well. Now, as we've talked about, there is a learning curve to contrast paints, and depending on how you want to do your details, you have to, think about certain things. But yeah, contrast is pretty rad. Oh, Tiny Chris, I feel you, 100%. I like painting, but I have to be in the right mindset for it. I have to have the right amount of energy for it. I don't really right now, but testing this kind of stuff is less intensive than if I'm just painting. Yeah, exactly, the reflection. Yeah, and that's the thing. Usually, I like painting. I want to paint. I have projects that I'm in the middle of, but man, in the morning, energy level is pretty low. Yeah, and I love contrast. I think it's great in a lot of cases. Yeah. Well, Zardoz, I hope it all turned out okay. Yeah, doctor's appointments are super fun. There was something else I wanted to do. Oh, I could work on that. Let's see what to do while that one dries. Should do some regular. All right, we're gonna mix up the works here. So yeah, I realized on the last time I was painting that I didn't have any. For some reason, I didn't have very many gray paints, or all my gray paints were very, very light. So I went to the store and I bought gray contrast, and then also administratum gray and Eschen gray. Oh, good morning, Jessica. Somebody hit 1,000 followers. But it's not a competition. You want to say hi to Jessica? Yeah. Okay, you can say hi to Jessica. Hi. Max says hi to Jessica. I want Eschen Gray right now. I'll let him know that you said hi. He already ran off to the next thing. If he can't see you on screen, then you might as well not even be there. Thank you so much for the resubscription. That's true. Jessica, we're playing with. I got new pigments and new medium. So this is what the new pink. He's still drying, but this is what the new pink marine looks like. And again, my color is not accurate on my screen. It's another one of those slider bars, I guess. Because it's definitely more pink in real life than it is on there. Oh well. I'll take pictures afterward. It'll be easier to see in truer color. Okay, I'm using that for the pink. Let's keep that. Oh, there we go. Oh, Zenblade says. So typically, Zenblade, that's a very, very good question. You can purchase a copy of my book directly from me in a couple of different ways. Typically, buying it directly from me or like if from any author is going to be a better cut for the author. But of course, buying it anywhere is awesome. I do offer. So also book prices vary so much depending on where you buy it. Obviously, sites like Amazon can offer huge discounts on books, even below, what the publisher will sell it for. It's that whole complicated thing. And also the prices fluctuate wildly just from like minute to minute, day to day. I'll go on Amazon and be like, oh, my book is this price right now. That's interesting. They don't tell you or anything like that. I do offer. There's a message that pops up every so often that talks about it, but you can buy a book directly from me for $35, which yes is above the standard price, but I sign it and that includes shipping, so you can do that. That's cool, but again, if you want to do one of the other ways, that's also awesome. And yeah, so the book is also listed on my wife's Etsy shop. So again, if you see the soap ad pop up, there's a book listed on there. That's also cool. That price is slightly different, but I think you pay for shipping still. And then again, like the book is on every online way to buy books. So yeah, so it's all good. Gen Con. Gen Con announced they're doing a hybrid thing. Let's see, what paint or what brush do I want to use for this? I'll use this one. So Gen Con is happening. Mostly happening. Well, I'm just bringing up the paint guide for this because I forget exactly where the different colors go. Okay, I'm doing that version. Hybrids are usually trouble. Yeah, so all right. So they moved the date past summertime, so now it's in mid-September. And they're going to have, so there are three different Gen Con things happening all at once. There's going to be an online Gen Con just like there was last year. Oh, now we don't know a ton of information or details about any of these things. This is just the overall announcement. So there's going to be an online portion. So they'll offer, Zoom events and whatever, things like that, like we all did last year. there's going to be an in-person convention going on somehow in Indianapolis, and they're doing I forget the name of it, but like the Gen Con in your store or whatever, where like your local, there can be like satellite things going on at your local places, blah blah blah, whatever. Who knows? Yeah, I mean, look, conventions are dying to start back up. They need to start up eventually. I can't fault them for this. It does feel a little premature. I don't plan on going. Although I certainly hope that by then I have the vaccine. That would be nice. But yeah, I in theory I'll be doing another. You know, I'll have my own bit for the online portion. But yeah, I wish conventions would just hold off a little bit longer. Locally here in California, they've announced that I'm trying to catch up on messages, that DesignerCon is going to go forward to be a live convention here in November. Now again, that's a little bit farther off. I'm a little bit more comfortable thinking about plans for that one. But it seems like that's going to be the first major convention here in California that's going to happen. How exactly it's going to work, we don't know yet. We don't know what the capacity is going to be. DesignerCon is, I don't know the exact numbers offhand, but it's substantial. It's not the size of, it's smaller than WonderCon, which obviously, I mean, everything's smaller than San Diego Comic-Con, but I mean, I would guess DesignerCon is a couple tens of thousands of people. You know, at its height, it fluctuates over the years depending on where they do it. Yeah, it's a lot of people, my family included, have suffered this year because of not having conventions to go to. So, and yeah, and that, right, obviously that doesn't even count, the convention spaces themselves, hotels, all the other aspects of the industry, the service industry, the hospitality industry. So yeah, everybody's itching to get back as soon as possible. I'm glad things have waited this long, at least in most places. There have been little conventions going on this whole time in Florida. No, Zardas, thankfully it's a little bit better than that, but yeah, like I said, we were considering trying to do something at DesignerCon in November, but again, we just need more details about how it's all going to go down and what the safety is going to look like. We also, I mean, this is very specific to us, but again, for my wife sells soaps, and we had, before the pandemic, we had a really cool booth. Thank you so much, Zenblade. Oh my goodness, that's awesome. Let's see. I will whisper you. Congratulations. That is so awesome. Let me get the link. I'll whisper you the link to fill out a form, and then I'll get that going for you. What was I saying? I completely lost my train of thought. That was so cool. Oh yeah, no, it's pretty quick to grab the link. Oh right. So booth. So before the pandemic, we had we had a really cool booth to sell the soaps. And we had all, the soap laid out. You may have seen pictures of it that we've shown online. But got to figure out a new way to have people come up and touch things and smell things and all of that and just interact. Because, yeah, I mean, even once people are all vaccinated, we still, we gotta be careful about stuff. We don't want everybody touching and feeling everything. But we have ideas on how to do that. It's just more stuff that we have to work on. Where do I get the link? Summary. It's here somewhere. Can I just do it directly? No. Yeah, Rabbit Wombat, we're just, small. Yeah, we are looking at different kind of things that we could offer. There are like little, little sticks of things and little paper things. Yeah, mainly because people need to be able to smell the soaps. Okay, what am I missing? I'm missing recent forms. Hold on, this should be easier. Why am I having trouble with this? Responses. View responses. Okay. I will get, yes. Yeah, I'll send you a link after. I can't find the link of how to fill out the dang form. But yeah, anyway, so why I have a Google form. I just don't see the place where it actually says to get the link to the form. Yeah, for sure. So anyway, so considerations like that, like how even once, we're back in a convention setting, well, what do booths look like? How many people are going to be there? How close are the booths going to be to each other? These are all questions that event organizers are going to need to have really clear information on, and in advance, so we as convention exhibitors can look at that and decide, do we want to be a part of that? What do our precautions need to be? How do we keep ourselves safe? How do we keep other people safe? It's going to be a whole new world for a while, at least. Yeah, so because this is technically what I'm working on right now is from Robotech. Now, you may know this from Macross. You may know this from BattleTech. It's these designs have appeared in many different places under many different names. And there are a few different variations in the colors, even just in Robotech, depending on where the gray is. And there's like a bluish color. So I'm basically doing it off of, does it give me a name here? No, it doesn't give me a name. But essentially, like gray for the sort of the main body pod, and then dark gray on the legs, the weapon arms, because it's going to be the front and the I forget what they call the gun on this one, and then that really cool red. And I love this red. It could be a little bit brighter, but it just came out so smooth. I really like the red I picked for this. I don't know which red it is. I could I'll have to go find it eventually. Yeah, Tiny Chris, we were looking at possibly like spraying things at people, but I don't know. I don't know what the ramifications of that might be. I don't know if that would work so well, and if God forbid somebody's allergic to something. Thankfully, there are very few ingredients that people typically have allergies to, at least in the stuff that we make. In fact, it's funny. We just got the Facebook memories, but 2 years ago, this week was our very first convention when the soap business really kicked off, and that was at TFCon, the Transformers convention that was here in Burbank, and it was super rad. It was like the best convention we'll have ever done. Consent is definitely important. Oh, Taco Bell, so good. I could definitely go for another Taco Bell night. That happens fairly frequently with our family. Now I do want to make sure I don't paint. There are like little dots that are inside. Oh, focus. Yeah, like so. I don't want to paint those dots, so I gotta make sure I carefully paint around them. I'm like, I'll be honest with y'all. Yeah, if you're gonna go to an event and see Bert, hugs are probably gonna happen. He can't really help himself. So just expect Bert hugs. It's also been really great doing the helping out on the Hyper Warhammer streams with Bert, at least in the chat, because yeah, you can hear him whenever he types something out or types out that he's laughing. You can definitely hear it in your head. Oh, Tiny Chris, just about everything from Taco Bell is terrible for you, but it's so good. The little dots on the back of these legs are really small, but still going to try to paint around them. And again, if I paint on them, it's not the end of the world, because I can just repaint it later, but the less you have to repaint later, obviously the better. But yeah, that's gonna need some touch-up work. So my brush has like one frayed edge to it. This gray is definitely what I needed. The Vallejo light gray I had was very close to the color of the primer and was not helping. Oh, the Ecto 1 Transformer. Do it. Do it. Man, back in the day, I bought a bunch of stuff from TF Source. I haven't bought a Transformers toy in a while. Because all my money goes to miniatures these days. Get in there, paint. Okay, so Taco Bell does have a pretty substantial menu. There's a lot of things there to try, but it's not for everybody. And you'll get people who will tell you that, you know, other chains are better, and that's fine. But it is, you gotta, I'm glad you at least tried it. Oh, we should check in on my pink marine, see what he's looking like. Hello, what is it? Peppa GG 888. Oh, and thank you for the follow. I didn't even see it pop up. Thank you so much for the follow. We are painting today. We do all sorts of geeky, nerdy things on this channel. Various things on different days. Working on a Robotech miniature from Kids Logic in Hong Kong. Painting gray legs. I think this color is going to look really good, especially contrasting with the dark red. And again, this is Eshin Gray. I was actually expecting to get Vallejo Gray when I went into the store, because I mean, the paints are just as good individually, but I really like their dropper bottles. But my local store stopped carrying the regular Vallejo model color line and only has the airbrush line. And I was told by my buddy who works at the store that the gray in that line is not that good. That the just GW gray is better. So, all right, I'll do that then. And he's a good guy who knows a lot about painting, so I trusted his advice. Oh, let me put that back over there. So it's definitely pink. Pink for sure. Painting with, as you can see on there, painting with pigments is really interesting. Because you'll see part of it, like thicker parts, yeah, it's pink. Because you'll see some parts that are where it's thicker, but like the color actually changes. Yeah, I gotta do more testing to figure that out. It did stay nice and thin. I mean, you can see, well, maybe you can see on the backpack / power generator that the details are still really nice and crispy. It didn't block up too much. Maybe a little bit in the vents. But the vents are so narrow, it's hard not to get. Yeah, you see the orange? Yeah, it kind of turned orange a little bit. A second coat will help that for sure. It'll help even it out. I hope, yeah. I don't know if I like it more than this pink, though. So on the left is the Green Stuff World pink. On the right is the Mad Micas pink. Yeah, I mean, this one is so vibrant. But I mean, that backpack it's trending a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. Oh man, and this is why I have so much trouble actually painting things, because I endlessly worry and fight and debate my colors. And then of course this is the one that I made that's more like a contrast. So it's not nearly as even, but it does still look pretty cool. The middle one here. The middle one, I mean, obviously it has the other colors too, so your eye is going to be drawn to this in a different way than these other ones. But yeah, it is. I like how eye-watering the middle one is. Cool. Well, testing continues. You gotta test. But I do like how this mixes up. Oh, I guess the next thing I should do is try this pigment, the Mad Micas pigment with this medium. I haven't done that yet. So that'll be a good test. Black Cavalier, that's a good point as well. Man, see, there's so much thought that goes into so much thought and planning and testing that has to go into this painting. I will admit, there are times when I think, man, how much easier would all of my hobby be if I just went with an established color scheme from an established army. I could buy the exact recipe it shows on the back of the box. I don't have to think about it. I can just, it would be so much easier. But no, my Marines will be unique. Yes, Demon Blight. Easy is boring. My Marines will be unique. My army will look super cool. For our awesome armies on display project, my army is just going to be mouth-watering and eye-watering. It's going to be great. And doing all this mad scientist paint testing has been pretty fun too. Well, we can try that. I've got. Let's wipe off this. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, so I think this is, let's see if this is darker. I think it is darker than this one. Oh yeah, there's a pretty big, interesting, there's a pretty big color difference between these two. Holding them side by side like this, just in the pigment. So yeah, let's try this one. Oh my god. So we got my wife. Yeah, exactly. The Demon Blight, the orangish in this one. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's mix. Let's try the same ratio at least to start. But I'm going to use a brush to mix it up. Yoink. Yeah, this one. Yeah, my wife got, for my birthday, we have a chocolate cake and a carrot cake made by a local baker who, a lot of her stuff is just okay, but my god, do I love her carrot cake. Carrot cake is my favorite kind of cake. I know, I'm weird. It's a thing. But this carrot cake is easily the best carrot cake I've ever had. And I can't stop eating it. And because I'm the only one in my family who eats it, it's pretty much all for me. And that's why we got 2 cakes. Or that's why she got the 2 cakes. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And because this is medium, it shouldn't really matter how many drops I use. It'll just change the consistency. Shouldn't really change the color. Yeah, so man, I have just been gorging on cake. It's pretty great. It's my birthday, I'm allowed. And I'm going to tell you, there are a lot of crappy carrot cakes out there, but the good ones, oh, so good. And yes, there are proper ways to make a carrot cake and improper ways. Oh, no, that's not what I want. Let's put it right there. let's get another marine. Oh, here's another one. Oh, nice, and Blade. Yeah, there's so many March birthdays. There you go, Tiny Chris. It's a vegetable. Yeah, it's good for you. Well, that's another thing. I'm not a huge fan of raisins, but you got to have raisins in a carrot cake. It's just part of what makes it good. No pineapple though. Some people try to sneak some pineapple into a carrot cake. Nope. No, thank you. Oh, just drop that into some wet paint. That's right. Always clean your brushes after you paint. Very important. Every time. They sell all this fancy stuff. There's like this pink concoction that a lot of people use. You can just use liquid dish soap. Yeah, people trying to put pineapple in all sorts of weird things. Nope. No, thank you. I also just don't really like pineapple. Interesting. So this one, again, same basic formulation. One little scoop of the pigment to approximately 10 drops of the medium, but this is more, it's definitely more liquidy. Thinner, you might say, if you were trying to be more accurate. So I'm not being very careful, just kind of throwing it on the model. It's thin enough that it has some movement to it. It's not going to pool up too bad anywhere. And we'll see what this looks like. Yeah, this one definitely does not have that orange tint to it at all. Ugh. Pineapple and carrots. No. Yeah, no Hawaiian pizza for me. No thank you. No. Pineapple's lucky for moving into new homes or getting married? Interesting. I did not know that. There are so many interesting food customs in different cultures around the world. Stuff is fascinating. What different foods mean, when you're supposed to eat them, or where. That's cool. I love all that kind of stuff. I am hoping that one of these times I do one of these tests and I slap it on and it's like, it's perfect. I'm just going to do that with all of my models. One day it'll happen. Interesting, Tiny Chris. I did not know that about pineapple and stuff in the South. That's cool. What is going on over there with my kids? Let's do that. So looking ahead, everybody make sure you tune in tonight on Ripley Improv for Heartbeats at 6 p.m. Pacific. So good. And then tomorrow, we'll be back here 2 o'clock Pacific time for the Warhammer War Room stream. I don't think I'm going to have a guest tomorrow, as it turns out. I had somebody lined up and then something happened, life stuff, and I think I am without a guest. But that's cool. I was thinking maybe I would do like half the show doing like the normal kind of like going over new stuff and maybe talking about a faction or something, and then maybe the other half I will continue to do painting. My God. 2 painting streams in a row. Can the internet handle it? We shall see. Or maybe I'll find a guest at the last minute. Who knows? You'll have to tune in and find out. And then the Home Buddies group stream tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Pacific, will be on Jessica's channel. You know, she's the one who has fewer than 1,000 followers. Not that anyone's counting. I do like how easily this paint goes on. It's pretty smooth. Now, next we all need to tell our friends, and we'll get Jessica up to 1,000, and then we'll both be there. It'll be great. So that's our next goal. Ooh, that was pretty good. I don't know if anybody heard that, but I moved the model down and my wrist cracked. Like, oh, I didn't even know I was carrying so much tension right there. Back of the hand. Which part of the top is his finger and which is the magazine? I think it's that part. Kind of hard to tell. Oh, hey Pete, how's it going? Yes. There is occasionally painting. All you people making fun of me for my lack of painting. Yeah, Tiny Chris, we were just talking about how, like, was it? Oh, I think it was on Wednesday when Cameron popped in too, and we're talking about getting older, and yeah, I have to be careful of my back when I stand up. I have to get up in a certain way. Getting old, so much fun. Yeah, this is. I'm pretty sure this is the color pink that I like more. I'm sure I'll still find uses for that new one, but I really like this color. Ooh, my brush is not coming to a really good point. Let's see if I can fix that. It's so hard to paint around, to get inside around the shoulder or around the collar piece and not get any paint on the rim of the shoulder pad, which is going to be a different color eventually anyway. Again, like I can paint over it. It's not a huge deal, but to try to get in there around the chest. Oh, it looks so bad, so wet like that. But getting old versus being old, sure. Pete, the birthday was good. It was very good. very nice with the family. We had to do some like boring life stuff on that day too, but you know, what are you gonna do? Demon Blight. That. You know what? That is true. Yeah, I'm not gonna like go repaint this guy or anything because it is still a good tester. And yeah, I will add the accent colors to that one as well to see what it looks like for sure. Yeah, no, that's a good point. Because again, once you bring in the other colors, things can change on you. Yeah, so we had birthday pizza and lots of cake. So much cake. Literally cake for days. Pete, do you bake as well as I think I've seen you? Yeah, no, I've seen your pictures of you baking things. Now that I think about it, there was some sort of what was it? Was it like a cherry, some kind of a cherry pie that I think you showed off in a picture once? Um, Black Cavalier asks, "Do I ever paint in sub assemblies?" Not often. I'm too lazy. And honestly, and like I talked about this week, I really like building models. So it's tough for me to stop building and leave things in pieces that one day I'll put together fully. I am, however, now with all of that being said, the vehicle models that I've built recently, I have left in pieces to be able to paint all of the important parts, not like the interior or any garbage like that. But I have done that. And then for these Robotech minis, I am painting them without them being fully assembled. So I've got like arms on sticks. Ooh, that's kind of a crazy color, but I've got, yeah, these are arms on sticks and different pieces there. So I'm doing that a little bit. But yeah, usually, nah. And yeah, obviously on something like this, and for those of you who don't know what Black Cavalier and I are talking about, essentially what it means is that if there's a part on the model that's being obscured, but not completely, you don't build all the pieces that will cover it up. So for instance, on this guy, you see, we can see his chest behind his gun, but there's no easy way to get in there and paint it. So what you could do is you could assemble the model himself, you can assemble the arms separately, and then don't glue the arms on until you paint all the parts that you want to have paint, and then you glue everything together at the very end. Again, when you're talking about bigger models or vehicles, there's more to the sub assemblies. So you'll have you'll have big chunks of model, but again, separate that you can paint and then glue together. So yeah, I guess the answer is typically no, but I am doing more of it now with vehicles, and I would consider it for a model, but it would have to be something special for me to care that much. Hydro dipping, I've I don't know that I've seen somebody do it with a big model. I haven't seen people do it with little models. But I guess you could. There are dips that are like washes that you can get. Obviously, that's not exactly the same thing. But yeah, hydro dipping is really interesting. I've seen some videos about that. It's a me, Bondo. Thank you so much for the 4-month subscription. Love it. All right, let's just get this. Let's get some paint on the shoulder pad, and then we will let it dry, and then we'll compare. Oh, this brush is it's getting all junky on me. Yeah, Army Painter has those. It's like a can of paint that you just dunk the whole model in. Could you use the paint on peel off protector like painting nails? Maybe. You'd have to make sure it doesn't interact with the with the primer also. All the kinds of paints and primers and everything tends to be pretty fidgety and sensitive, unfortunately. Try to get this as close as possible without too much spill over. Okay, not too bad. Again, it's going to need touch up later, but not too bad. At least it's not all it's not all over the rim, which sometimes it does. This is not the best brush for this action. Mommy. Okay. Good enough. All right. That was a sale. Thank you, Dara. Monument hobbies. Yeah, interesting. I mean, okay, look. This is an official Citadel brush, but it's a base brush, so the bristles are a little bit wider than I want for getting really close to a tiny line. But it's alright. It's fine. Pete, that's true. The little one's speech is so much better just in the last little while too. Citadel brush is gross. I know. I have a bunch of Citadel brushes that somebody gave me. But my honestly my main brush that I use most often is my Winsor and Newton Series 7 size 0. And I use this for almost everything, unless it's like really slapping on a big base coat, then I'll use a thicker brush I care less about. Okay, so this guy's still gonna dry, but yeah, that color is I definitely like that color more. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for hanging out. Have a good weekend. Hopefully, see you on the weekend streams. Or if not, I'll be back on Monday. Oh, I missed a spot over behind the shoulder, but I might as well just fix that right now. Like I said, trying to get in. Just jam those bristles. All right, better. Yeah, definitely going to need a second coat though. But looking good so far. Yeah, I'll make sure to get pictures this time. Because half the time I do a stream with toys or models, and then afterwards I try to clean up everything so quickly. I'll put everything away and I'll be like, damn it, forgot to take pictures of, of things. I like to take pictures, and it's good for social media and the Discord and stuff like that. But I'll forget. I know, layers. And so I said, like, I gotta stop, let things dry, then come back, and oh my God, Pete, I look, I've watched a bunch of tutorials on non-metallic metals. It looks amazing. I'd love to do that one day. I do not think I am at that level. I don't think I have the patience for it. It truly, I mean, done well, that stuff just looks amazing. But I mean, I suppose one day I just need to start practicing. Yeah, that is the true test. That is pro level miniature painting, for sure. Yeah, cool. Well, I should probably get going. So what did we work on today? Uh, definitely, I definitely picked a gray that I really like for this model. I just need to get a little bit more. I have to bring up the paint guide for this and really make sure I know what I'm doing, so I don't have to keep looking up and down when it comes to where all these little bits are. Uh, so I'll do that and then finish this. This one, it shouldn't take too much more time because the gray is basically just up the legs, just the cannon parts of the arms, and then a couple parts on the main body. And then I just need a couple little details, but this model is pretty simple for what colors go where, so that won't take me too much longer. The Veritex, of course, these still are going to be a lot of work. Oh man, I need another layer of white to try to smooth out the white garbage. I'll use that same gray on the sort of like the joints, so the knees, the feet, etc. And then there's a whole bunch of little details. I'm gonna paint the cockpit lens, or the lens on the head, the cockpit itself on the torso there. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do the red stripes. Yeah. So there's, yeah, like I said, there's a lot of work still to do on those. And then the two Battle Brothers that we worked on today. Yeah, honestly, Tiny Chris, yeah, if you type in miniature painting, NMM, or non-metallic metal, you'll find a lot of tutorials out there. Yes, it is. They are so pink. But yeah, definitely a pretty big color difference there. Cool. And with that, let's see which of our good friendos is online right now. Anybody? Anybody good? Oh, thank you so much, Darrow, for hitting those, whatever you call them, those things, those commands. Okay, come on, load it up, load it up, load it up. Yes, time to eat more carrot cake. I was just thinking that. Look at that. Norse Meat, 1K followers. It feels so good. Oh yeah, there's a good command. Dave, Lindsay, and Harry. Those are all good names. Lindsay, also a boy's name. Like I said, like I say at the very beginning of my book, any name can be used for any gender, or even people who are non-gender specific. It's great. But yeah, there is a Lindsay section that's about the character, the man named Lindsay in the series Angel. I don't know why I just thought of that, but sometimes the most embarrassing thing is when people will bring up a name and they'll say, "Oh, is this name in your book?" And I'm like, let me go and check. There's so many names, and I can't keep them all straight in my head. I need to go and look to see if that name is in my book. But that one I do remember. Ooh, Norma, Emily, and Emma. Also really good names. that are in there. Okay, well now you're just driving me crazy because I could talk about all these things. Okay, I am not rating, so you can go find somebody else cool to watch, or just go hang out. But again, yeah, thanks everybody. Like I said, go watch Heartbeats tonight, and then be back here tomorrow, 2 o'clock Pacific time. There was a lot of Warhammer news and things going on. Thank you for the follow, N Road Javel, however you pronounce that. But thank you so much for the follow. Yeah, tomorrow, 2 p.m. Pacific. Like I said, lots of Warhammer news and stuff this weekend to talk about, and we'll look at these pink guys and see what they look like after they've dried, and we'll talk more about that. All right. See everybody. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.